I received a long letter from an Arab friend, many questions. I know
Is
we
that right?
discussed
Yes.
some of these questions, but if we
From where?
answer it, it is from our brother Abu Talib in Germany.
In Germany?
Yes.
Right.
The questions, they are all
Please.
related together.
Right.
Who is Satan? Is Iblees the
We
Satan?
will take them one after the other. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, right.
Okay. Who is a Shaitan?
Yeah.
Who is Satan?
Right. First of all, I remind you that the word Shaitan has been used in two clear connotations. Two aspects of the meaning belong to the word Shaitan. One is there being a person of some sort, of fiery nature, whatever it is, but he is an individual, a person. And the other is the human nature has an element of Shaitan in it itself. So these two aspects of the same word, Shaitan, are clearly understood from the study of the Quran and the Hadith, etc., and I'll come to that. When it is a person, another question arises as to, is it an invisible person who runs about everywhere and simultaneously is present in every man, with every man and woman, of course? Or is it like a system of misguiding people? And the head of that system is that one person, like Jibreel, alayhi salam, is the head of the system of revelation. And Israel is the head of the system of taking dead out of the living, that is death. He commands death. And there is a system of provision of food, whether it is related to men or other animate objects. It is all a very well organized, universally well organized and balanced system of provision of food, which is controlled by Mikael. So these are all systems which are headed by one being of a type which we cannot see, who has different dimensions. So it's not that one person runs about. So if Satan is to be taken personally, as a person, then he is likened unto angels, but is not made of the same stuff, and does not possess the same habits. The clear-cut difference between the two, which separates satanic character from that of angelic, is angels do whatever they are told, and they never deviate from the path set for them. They always follow that path strictly because it's a divine word and they cannot disobey the divine word. Satan cannot obey the divine word. That is his problem. But he does not do it directly. Nothing can disturb the divine word. So he has taken his permission. That by nature, I don't like, obedience. So if you permit me till the end of the judgment of the world, I will continue to disobey you, and also I will continue to mislead people. So there is a full system whereby, like nobody knows Junood Rabbik except Allah Himself. Allah knows His Junood, how many they are, and the measureless and numberless angels, I mean. But each angel is controlled, each angel or groups of angels, all groups of angels are controlled by specific angels. And we know only the names of the heads, not of all the people. So this is how I visualize the good and bad, virtue and evil to interplay with each other. And God has given us the choice to follow the satanic insinuations or angelic breathing of Spirit of God into us. So it's daily a trial through which we pass. So that is one understanding of angel, of Satan. That means he must have a host of other similar beings who follow his orders, who run about and deliver certain messages of evil to people who are like-minded. The second is that angels are also embedded in our nature, so also Satans are embedded in our nature. Our nature has a dual character. It is inclined towards good, inclined towards bad as well. But basically, when we were given the first go in the life, we were all inclined to good. That is why kullu mauludin yuladu ala al-fitrate, or kullu mauludin yuladu ala al-Islam. Fitrat and Islam are the one and the same thing. But when they grow up, abawahu yuhawidanihi wa yunassiranihi, etc. So that is the meaning of a clean start. The start is clean, but then influences begin to work. And the worst in man sometimes gains the upper hand, and the best is suppressed. And sometimes the opposite happens. Those forces which are outside forces, they abet the phenomenon of evil forces, which abet the phenomenon of the worst in us to come up. They are the satanic forces. So there has to be a Satan within man, otherwise outside Satan would not work. It has no authority over us unless we were provided with the instrument of evil inclinations within us. That is why the Holy Quran, speaking on this subject, says, Alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha. Qad khaba man dassaha. Qad aflaha man zakkaha. Qad khaba man dassaha. We were provided by Allah, and we were told all that was created. It was told, this is your right path, this is your wrong path. Fujuraha wa taqwaha. The places where you will tumble down, where you will, falter, you will go into the pits and pitfalls. That is fujuraha. Taqwaha, be wary, don't misstep, Watch your steps, watch your turns. Allah says we have all imprinted on nature we have created. Whether it's the nature of man or animals, these two things are imprinted. And deep within they know what is good for them and what is bad for them. وَقَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. Whoever promotes the good in him and always supports the good habits to flourish, he goes on in improving in quality and progressing on a sort of path of evolution from where he never returns. Continues to go to higher goals, occupy a higher station with Allah. And those who suppress these good tendencies, they begin to lose height, lose distance, begin to sink. And that is what Satan is. And that is what Satan does to us. He tries to remove us in distance, spiritual distance from Allah. And that also is called curse. Lanat is the distance between God and his creation. So when willfully a person distances himself from Allah, then he is working under the influence of Satan, and he works on the Satan within us. Right? So that Satan within us is natural. It's not an evil thing in itself. It's just a propensity, a tendency, which is more than offset by the tendency of doing good. The good has been given an upper hand. So those who do bad things, they do it against their conscience. That is why even in the first man, when he begins to commit crime, the conscious had warned him. And it warned him in the first time by creating even an earthquake within him, sort of quake. What have you done? But later on, as he grows, as he continues to commit sins, the voice of conscience is subdued. That is the saha. It begins to sing until it is lost. So this is, as such, as I understand as a whole, the name, what the name Satan means, what are the purposes of Satan, how he works on human beings, and this also is the explanation to the hadith that when Ahmad said that every man has his Satan running in his bloodstream. Somebody inquired, of course amazed, Ya Rasulullah, even you? He said, yes, but my Satan has become Muslim. That means the voice of evil was suppressed by Rasulullah, so powerfully and strongly, so discouraged so much that it got killed. There is no more of Satan left in him. That is a total submission. But those who begin to listen to the voice of evil and continue to listen to it, their conscience is killed on the contrary. And there is only one thing running in the bloodstream, which is evil. Such a person becomes the personification of Satan. Such a person is referred to as Iblees. A human being who has offered himself for the Satan as a playground, as an arena for him to do whatever he pleases. The one who becomes an instrument in the hand of Satan. When he becomes a personified Satan, then he is Iblees. So that is how I understand. There may be some mistakes in my understanding, but I think generally this holds true. This holds good. I mean, my understanding, I think, is quite right.
Just there is only one point which I couldn't
follow.
That is the person of Satan, but it will come in next question.
I have already said that there was a person.
Yes, there was a
person and is a person.
Yes.
That person, I said, that person is like Jibreel.
Yes.
Jibreel on the right side, and Satan on the other hand.
Yes.
And he also sends wahi on the people.
Yes.
You see?
Yes.
But he is not just a single person. He is the head of a department of evil.
Yes.
Where so many other persons like him work under his command. So the Holy Quran says, Tanazzul bihi shayateen. And other verses indicate that shayateen are a plural.
No.
It doesn't mean that this Satan is giving birth to children and he has a wife Satan and this and that. It doesn't mean that. It means right from the beginning, this is how the system was devised by Allah. He is the head of the satanic department. And there's so many Satans working under him. When they become personified in human beings, then we refer to them as Iblees. Right?
No.
Right. See, these shayateen also descend on people like angels descend on people, and they are mentioned in plurals. So just to think of just one Satan of the time of Adam is wrong. The Holy Quran speaks of the two categories. هل أنبئكم على من تنزل الشياطين تنزل على كل أفاك أثيم يلقون السمع وأكثرهم كاذبون. Now these verses indicate that the Satan cannot descend on anybody unless he has a platform available for him. You see, without a runway, even the planes cannot descend. So some people have runways ready-made in their hearts for the Satans. So Allah tells, shall I tell you who they are? What sort of runway they have in their hearts? kulli affakin athim. The one who is a habitual liar. Angels would not descend on him. Why should they? Because they stand so far apart. And the one who is a habitual criminal, sinful person, Satan finds heaven for himself, finds peace with him, descends there and is well taken care of, most welcome, ahlan wa sahlan. So the Satans, but not one Satan. Satans descend on such people. But as far as Rasulullah sallam is concerned, he says, وَمَا تَنَزَّلَتْ بِهِ الشَّيَاطِينَ وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُمْ وَمَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ. That Satans, as far as Muhammad Rasulullah is concerned, no way can they descend. لَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُمْ. Who are they? They fall far below. They cannot even dare to touch him. So these are Satans, not Satan, one single Satan, which are a host of the evil forces whose head is Satan. Right?
No.